During his talks with Iranian Vice President al-Halaqi says Iran's great achievement regarding a nuclear file strengthens the axis of resistance. Projodi says all states that set themselves against Syria start to realize that the political solution is the only means for ending the crisis in Syria. And Syrian army continues to target terrorist dens and gatherings in all areas. Good afternoon, this is News in English from the Syrian Arab Television in Damascus. On the second day of his visit to Tehran, Prime Minister Wael Halaqi held talks with senior Iranian officials with the aim of boosting mutual cooperation and coordination. Dr. Halaqi said that the diplomatic victory realized by Iran would positively reflect on solving the crisis in Syria through the belief of all that there is no solution other than the political solution and dialogue, and the necessity for the states sponsoring terrorism to halt their support for the armed terrorist groups and sending them to Syria to destroy the country and kill innocent people. In turn, Iranian Vice President Jahankiri said during his meeting with al-Halaqi that Iranian people and leadership are standing in the same trench with the Syrians against the axis of evil targeting it, because Syria is the center of resistance. Chairman of the Foreign Policy and National Security Committee at the Iranian Shura Council, Alauddin Projodi, reaffirmed that the political solution is the right choice for the crisis in Syria. In an interview with the Lebanese Al-Manar television, Projodi said that all the states that set themselves against Syria, including the United States, France and Britain, have started to realize that the political solution and dialogue are the only means for ending the crisis in the country, clarifying that Syria is strong because of its military capabilities and the national army, in addition to the support of friendly countries in the region and the world, particularly two UN Security Council permanent members, Russia and China. The Iranian official added that his country has stood by Syria's side in face of the war waged against it, stressing that the two countries have strategic and strong relations. In our field developments and in Latakia, Syrian army units killed members of an armed terrorist group in Latakia countryside and destroyed cars loaded with ammunition and Grad missiles. The terrorists killed had non-Syrian nationalities, including Qatari, Yemeni and Chechen. Going to Aleppo, where army units killed terrorists attempting to infiltrate from a Sayyid Ali area to neighboring areas, destroying their dens, gatherings, missile launchers and cars loaded with weapons and ammunition in several villages and towns in Aleppo and its countryside. A military source said that army units eliminated armed terrorist groups in al-Sheikh Said, Khan Tuman, al-Rashidin, al-Rabi'a areas and destroyed missile launchers used by terrorists to target residents in the neighboring villages and to the towns of Al-Jdeide and Arbid, where they placed the launchers. Other army units destroyed cars loaded with weapons and ammunition and terrorists in Arum and surrounding areas of the central prison and Aleppo Idlib highway. In Idlib, Syrian army units confronted armed terrorist groups that attempted to infiltrate from Ma'arad Shemshe and attack a military checkpoint in Wadi Dif in Idlib countryside, inflicting heavy losses upon the terrorists. An army source said that terrorist gatherings were destroyed in the surrounding areas of Al-Arba'in mountain, where many terrorists were killed and others were injured. Meanwhile, two armed terrorist groups clashed in Khan Sheikhun city, and many terrorists were killed and others were injured. The people of Jalamana city in Damascus countryside marked the first anniversary of the two terrorist bombings that took place on the November 28th and resulted in the death of more than 100 citizens. Thousands of citizens took part in the event, which included erecting a memorial monument in honor of the martyrs who fell as a result of the two terrorist blasts. The participants expressed confidence that the sacrifices offered by Syrian people and army would enable them to defeat terrorism and restore security and stability to the whole country. Security forces arrested terrorist Khalid Ismail al-Wisi, who confessed to his participation along with an armed terrorist group in carrying out the two blasts that rocked the President's Square in Jaramana, Damascus countryside. In November 2012, in confessions he made to Syrian television, al-Wisi said that he participated in a number of terrorist acts, including an explosion in a Sayyidah Zainab area and preparing more than 30 explosive devices. Also explained how he carried out Jaramana 2 terrorist explosions along with 2 terrorists. In Lebanon, the Lebanese Army's intelligence have seized 3 Grad missiles ready to be launched in Al-Qain, eastern Beqa. 2 Lebanese soldiers were wounded by gunshots of an armed man as the Lebanese army was opening Al-Minya Road in Akkar. A statement by the Lebanese army said that a number of people have cut off the main road of Akkar north of Lebanon following detaining one person who is wanted by the police. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has completely ruled out dismantling nuclear facilities in Iran following Geneva Accord that was struck on Iran's nuclear file. In an interview with the Financial Times newspaper, Rouhani said that the problems between Iran and the United States were complicated and that they could not be solved in a short period of time. Nevertheless, there has been an openness lately which could be enhanced in the future. In a related context, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif has asserted that the percentage of uranium enrichment would be determined by Iran in a manner that would address the demand of the country in all domains. Zarif added that talks with the Western side in all stages would include the topic of uranium enrichment and that this principle is out of question. He concluded by saying that there was no justification for the worry of the Western countries concerning Iran's nuclear file because it is a peaceful one, pointing out that the source of this worry is the Zionist entity. The 30th annual conference for Doctors Syndicate was held in Damascus. More about it in the following report.
Under the auspices of the Prime Minister, Dr. Wa'il al-Halaqi, and due to this critical situation Syria is living, the elite of Syrian doctors had gathered to search for new ways to keep every soul safe and healthy. This is an annual conference held by the Association of Physicians in Syria. It examines the internal situation of guild and doctors and consider a holistic view of health status in all areas in Syria. And there has been some discussions of morbidity which were not present in Syria, especially polio.
جينا اليوم من كل أصقاع الوطن من أقصاه إلى أقصاه في الجمهورية العربية السورية من كل فروع النقابات.
Today we came from all over Syria, from all branches of trade unions in all provinces. We came to put plans with each other's, scientific plans which are achievable in the near term.
نفخر بسوريا لحد الآن.
We are proud of Syria because until now we are giving all of the citizens free medicine. And we are the only country in the world bearing fragrant to provide free medical care and free education. And again, they gather to confirm that they will keep saving lives and caring about people. The 13th Conference for Medical Association, Dan al-Imam for the Syrian National TV News in English.
Cinema Experience Exchange Workshop, an event organized by a young Syrian group. The workshop is set at Al-Azam Palace. Some guests attended the workshop in order to benefit the group with their skills and expertise. At the end of the event, the group will film a short movie as a result of the workshop.
Al-Azam Palace is not only an ancient monumental, It is as well a place which the organizers of Cinema Experience Exchange Workshop chose to meet in order to interchange their experience.
Everyone who is passionate with the cinema or specialized in some field could come to this place and interchange his experience with us, so that he could renovate his knowledge.
The workshop will last about 15 days. During its sessions, the group will work on ideas and scenarios to make several short films based on their decisions and interactive experiences. Some guests were invited to show the participants their work and to pass some of their working experiences and problems.
The workshop would establish for a staff of amateurs who could be self-renovating. It would establish for a new methodology of learning. If you dedicate this mechanism of interchanging the experience, the cultural assembly, let me call it, in place of the classical educational method, the result would be important, I guess.
Despite of their differences, one aim has gathered them together, and this time it was cinema. Kinda Youssef, Damascus.
With this, we conclude our news for today. More details on our website www.syriaonline.sy. Stay with us. We'll bring you the latest in the world of economy and finance, but after the break. Welcome back. The Minister of Domestic Trade asserted that the Ministry has completed the Bill of Consumer Protection as it was sent to the Justice Ministry for presenting it to the Parliament. The Minister pointed out that the bill has reformulated the laws of pricing and food safety, taking into account supplying the market with high-quality goods in affordable prices. The Minister also indicated that the Ministry works to complete the technical procedures with the Iranian side for activating the credit line. The director of the General Textile Establishment affirmed that the establishment's production during the past 10 months was estimated at 12.5 billion Syrian pounds. Noting that the sales value reached about 17.4 billion Syrian pounds, the director indicated that the sales have increased 2.3 billion Syrian pounds compared to the same period of the last year. He also highlighted that the abroad sales have reached approximately $40 million, increasing about $20 million compared to last year. The manager of Al-Ma'arri, Scotcher in Idlib, Governorate, announced that the marketing cotton quantities have exceeded 600 tons during the current season, in addition to about 5,000 tons in the Scotcher's stores. The manager also said that the Scotcher is still gaining cotton, as the total quantities exceeded 2,000 tons since September until now, which led to produce about 800 tons of ginned cotton and 300 tons of seeds. He highlighted that part of the seeds were shipped to the public and private sectors. Brent crude oil dropped below $111 a barrel, while U.S. crude oil rose for the first time in more than a week, bearing a 5-day loss. Future gained 0.5% to reach more than $92 a barrel. The Jurors Assembly set the price of the 21-carat gold at 5,400 Syrian pounds per gram, while the Roshadi golden coin was set at 40,000 Syrian pounds and the English coin was set at 45,000 Syrian pounds. The pound rose for a fourth week against the US dollar, as it advanced to the highest in more than 2 years after data from gross domestic product to mortgages approval added to the signs UK economic growth is accelerating. With this, we come to the end of our news for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and Godspeed.